Hello, and welcome to Moon Maiden Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys like these readings. Today, we're doing a pick a card reading of who are you going to end up with. So we have pile 1, which is pyrite, pile 2, which is lapis lazuli, and pile 3, which is quartz crystal. Okay, so let's start with pile number 1. Okay, pile number 1. You chose pyrite. Okay, so we're going to start with the 5 of blades, or the spiritualist. In the traditional deck, it's the 5 of swords, and as you can see here, it's in reverse. So this is talking about some kind of an illusionment, or wearing, it's like similar to wearing rose-colored glasses. So this could be applied to you or your future partner. So it's saying that this person isn't ready yet. They haven't matured enough. They're currently seeking relationships that are not working for them. The types of relationships that they get in are toxic. So this could be applied to either you or them. So be mindful of that. If you are just kind of being in a relationship to not be alone and it's not actually a healthy relationship, then just be mindful of that and take a step back, you know, get out of those types of relationships. And they might not be romantic, they might just be like friends and people that you surround yourself with. Okay, so be wary of those that you attract at this time. And something may be too good to be true right now. And also I'm getting that maybe that's your first impression of them, is that they're just too good to be true. There's something else, you know, happening under the shadows. Next we have the 7 of shields, or the trail of tears. In the traditional deck, this is the 7 of pentacles, and again this is in reverse, as we can see. So this is talking about you may be too focused on material things and wealth rather than relationships at this time. Again, this could be you or your future partner, so take it how it resonates. And what needs to happen is more effort needs to be put into yourself and getting yourself out there to meet others who are more like-minded. Okay, but you don't have to be pushy about it. It'll just come naturally when you cut these ties off from the toxic people who don't align with you, and you get out and you try to find your soul tribe, you know, the people who you vibe with. So basically, love will find you when you least expect it. but you're still going to need to get out of your comfort zone a little bit to inevitably run into this person. And love, it's something that's nurtured, it's not smothered. So at first, again, I'm getting the impression is like when you first meet, it's just going to be like a chance encounter. It's really just going to be like you guys have known each other forever. You're really just going to click. For the Four of Pipes, or Honor, which is the Four of Wands in the traditional deck, it's telling me that you're going to be attracted to his or her success, which is accumulated through careful planning and humility. So that's really good news. You will probably end up bonding over your shared need for success. And I'm getting that you're both really driven and focused. So it's something that you're both attracted to in a mate. And so this might be like a potential coworker or a future coworker or someone you meet through work in some way. Maybe at a conference or like an after work event. Next we have the Three of Blades, or Mourning. So this is saying that they've had their heart broken very painfully in the past, and this could again be applied to either you or them, so take it how it resonates. And so perhaps you're more focused now on your success rather than being in a relationship. So you might just be having flings and meeting people with no intention of being committed to them, which you both might actually be going through that. You both might have been in some kind of a long-term relationship in the not so distant past, and it's still, you're still affected by that. It was a big lesson to learn. And maybe you're like jaded by love now and you can't seem to let go of the past trauma. And again, it can also apply to them, so take it how it resonates. And that's why this circumstance of you guys meeting when you finally, it's like just a coincidence. You're both not even going to be looking for a relationship at all. Then we're going to move on to the Three of Vessels, or the Corn Dance. And in the traditional deck is the Three of Cups. There's a better view. Okay, so the Three of Cups in reverse. So again, this is talking about some kind of depression or loss. You might still be stuck in the energy related to this heartbreak, or they might be. So the loss could also be related to a third party situation. So maybe someone cheated on someone and that was the last relationship that they're super jaded from. And so it's hard for this person or yourself to trust now. And because there is, there's more of a trend now in their relationships to just have short-term things, nothing, as soon as it does start, the commitment does start coming on, like you just run away or you ghost, or they do. And there's nothing deeper than that because they're still blocked by this energy, by the trauma that happened here. And I'm getting that it might be in the last 3 to 5 years is when this happened, or their relationship lasted 3 to 5 years, or your relationship lasted 3 to 5 years. So it was a long-term commitment that didn't end well at all. And, maybe it was someone that they thought was going to be long-term and the person that they were going to be with forever. So it was really heartbreaking. Okay, so that's the type of energy that's going to be around the two of you when you have this chance encounter, when you do end up meeting. Then we're going to move on to the crescent, the waxing air moon, which represents ideas and shoots. So this is talking about, having the idea of what a perfect relationship is and turning down many possible partners because they just don't fit into that structure, into that mold of a person. So you put the idea of love and your future partner on a pedestal. And it's good to have standards and know what your type is, but keep in mind that no one is perfect. And if you give someone a chance who you maybe normally wouldn't, you might be surprised. So take on that, risk. Put yourself out there. Stay away from the people who don't spark joy, who don't give you joy in your life. So this is like a new encounter, and I'm getting that you haven't met this person yet. Okay, you haven't met them yet. Then we're going to go on to balsamic, or the waning air moon. So that's concession or seeds. So what you put out there is what you attract. So like I said, if you're hanging around these kinds of low energy people, that's all that you're going to pull into your life. And you don't want that in a future partner or in a group of friends, really. You don't need that around you. So this is what you're manifesting, okay? So if you think, I want a really hot potential partner or hot guy or hot girl, but in the same breath you say, oh, well, all those types of people, everyone who's attractive, they're just jerks and stuck up. So it's like a counteractive thought process. You're not even allowing yourself to manifest the person that you want in your life. And so it's not just one soulmate or partner that you have as well. You can have many. And so whoever you're aligned with energetically is who you're going to attract and who you're going to run into. So what's needed here is a restructure of mindset to attract the person who's you're ultimately going to end up with. So what I like to do and what I would suggest is make a list. You can be methodical about it. What does the person that you want to be with have? What kind of characteristics do they have? What do they look like? What are, all the things that you are looking for in a mate that you want to attract? Write it down and look at it. Put it up on your mirrors, hang it up on your fridge. I know it sounds silly, but it's going to constantly remind you of what you're attracted to, what kind of person you want to be with. And when you find that person, it will just be like, oh, check, check, check. Like, this is awesome. It will literally feel like you just manifested this. But really, it's like you're changing your perspective and you're giving yourself more self-worth. And you're allowing yourself to only be focused on or looking for those people who make you feel excited, who fit, within your ideal of what you want your person to be. And at the same time, you can also make, a list of deal breakers. What are some things that I will not be okay with? Because those are important too. You have to set boundaries as to what you're going to be okay with and what you're not going to be okay with. So be mindful of what you're putting out into the universe. That's what this concession is saying. Plant the seeds that you want to see. Then we're moving on to confession, number 23. Okay, so you need to reconnect with your root chakra or your deepest passions or desires. So you might be too caught up right now in, what everyone else is doing, what their relationships are like. And instead of focusing on your own personal growth and what type of relationship or journey you want to have. And so there's too heavy of an emphasis on your future partner's success is what I'm getting, since it's lined up with the honor card. So maybe you're just like, I need someone who's rich and who's got it all figured out and who's gonna provide, and it can be blocking you from actually finding the person who's going to make you happy. And you can both become rich and successful together. You know, not everyone is going to be born into money, but if you have the right mindset and the right drive, there's total potential for that, right? For you guys to build wealth and success together. You are going to build the connection you have with one another and your interests over time. And you don't have to be worried about putting that energy into the universe of, well, I need someone who's rich and successful. Focus more on what are some of the physical traits and like personality traits that they need to have. Because wealth and those things can always be built after. What's really important is what the type of person they are and what goes through their mind and how they overcome challenges. That's what's really going to be the key to success and the key to a happy relationship between the two of you. So again, don't be too judgmental on what you see on the surface. Don't judge a book by its cover. And within this image too, there's like this black moon in the back. That can be this like dark trauma that they have in this heartbreak. That might be how they're feeling, or it might be how you're feeling when you guys actually end up meeting. And I'm really feeling that your potential partner is going to be, you're going to meet them in a workplace setting, or you might find out about each other through the grapevine. So make sure you get to know them face to face and not just what you hear through gossip. So be careful, and also be careful about what you tell others, like, oh, I would, for example, oh, I could never see myself with that person or whatever. You're already creating boundaries and you're already judging them before you get to know them. And so don't go what's based on rumor, go what's based on how you feel when you're around that person. Next we have the altar, number 13. So this is telling me that you may be feeling that you need to behave in a certain way in front of others so that you can attract your perfect mate, when in fact that's really not true. Because this is lined up with the Mourning card, this is still the after effects of this toxic relationship that they had. And maybe they completely gave that person their everything and they got taken advantage of. And so they may have lost some of their money. It's linked to all the four elements. So their money, their looks, their intelligence, and their compassion, everything was tied up with this person. And they just feel like they're maybe like a shell of themselves now, because they feel like they just gave all of those parts up of themselves to this ex that they were with. And they may be completely oblivious to the fact that this damage was done. And they just may think that, well, this is who I am now. And that's not true. They're still healing from this past relationship that didn't end well. What I'm also getting is there is a good side to this, that you or them learned an extremely valuable lesson. So, and nobody can take that away from you. So your spirit and your drive for success is something that's never going to change. And growing into a loving relationship has huge potential now, because it's like when you get cut deep, when that heals, like you're so much stronger. You're never going to change yourself so much in a relationship. You're going to be true to yourself now when you move forward in your life. So that's a really good thing. When those things happen, it's not going to make you bitter, but better. So keep that in mind. Then we have the disseminating card, or confidence. So this is the waning fire moon, which represents fruit. Okay, so it's like we have the shoots of who were around that need to be reseeded so we can manifest a more healthy type of relationship. And here we're bearing that fruit. Okay, so yeah, the fruits of your labor will pay off. You know, you're going to reap what you sow. You're going to manifest this person. And I'm getting in a matter of about 1 to 3 year time period. Okay, maybe even sooner, but it depends on the inner work that you're going to do to attract this person and the type of relationship that you're going to build together. But I'm ultimately getting that it's going to be a very, very equal and fun and really beautiful relationship. And you guys are not going to be looking for love at all when you first meet. And that sometimes is the best. You know, like you find what you're looking for when you're not looking for it, if that makes sense. Like as soon as you stop trying so hard, like the universe just hands it to you, you know. So that's what's going to happen in this situation. And I'm getting that you're both going to be extremely wealthy and successful in your relationship because you are both super driven. And that's really what's going to make your relationship blossom into such a wonderful thing, because you're going to be independently driven like that, and it's going to make you grow even closer together in the long run. Okay, so I'm going to pull some messages now for group number 1. Let's see what is going to help you find your potential mate. Okay, so I have your dreams will come true. Okay, so don't force it. You know, just be yourself. And like I said, when you guys meet, it's going to be complete coincidence. It's not going to be planned at all. You are free. So free yourself from those toxic people that are no longer serving you. Love yourself. Okay, this completely aligns with that message. Focus on yourself right now. You're better than, you know, what you're giving yourself credit for. You are enough. Okay, so maybe you were the one who went through that toxic relationship and you need to get over it. And just remind yourself that you're enough. You don't need another person in your life to make you complete. You are perfect just the way you are. You're enough. Then we have the answer is near. Oh, so maybe you guys will end up running into each other sooner than you think. You know, I said that it was going to take, you know, about 1 to 3 years for your relationship to develop, but you guys could be meeting quite soon. So maybe you're going to meet, again, like I say, I think it's going to be at work. Maybe you meet, you know, just through some type of like an email or a group chat or something like that. And then you get to know each other that way. Okay, so thanks again for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Please leave a comment down below if you liked it and tell me what you think. What are your thoughts? I want to know if you enjoyed it. And please remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more readings every week. I do them every Wednesday, so please come by again. Okay, so thanks again. Bye. Okay, now we have group number 2. So group number 2, who are you going to end up with? First, we're going to start with the 7 of Pipes, or the Counting Coup. Okay, so in the traditional tarot deck, it would be the 7 of Wands, and it is in reverse. So that means that either yourself or your future partner has no ability right now to cope with the problems of life. Okay, so you could be allowing other people's opinions of you and your relationship control your life right now. So you might be too timid to go for the person that you actually like. You need to take a stance and defend your relationships, and don't be ashamed of who you're attracted to. Then we have the 2 of Blades. Or the 2 of Swords in the traditional deck. So this is telling me that the relationship is going to move very slowly, but you're going to have a really solid foundation. So maybe you guys, when you meet, you're just going to be friends, or maybe it's someone that you're already just friends with right now. And you're going to complement each other very well. Either way, you're going to draw each other in because of that way that you're opposite from each other. Okay, so it goes to that old saying that opposites attract. You're going to find somebody attractive based on how they're a humbling presence, they're modest, or they just are more down to earth. That's what's going to attract you to them. And you could be avoiding telling this person how you really feel due to the fear of rejection. And it could also be fear of, changing that relationship dynamic, changing your friendship into a romantic relationship. That might scare you. You don't want to lose them as a friend because they're such a good friend. But at the same time, it could really blossom into a wonderful, loving relationship and be the person that you're going to end up with. And we have the Judgment card. Okay, number 20. Judgment in reverse. So you might be letting shyness or embarrassment stop you from approaching the person that you're going to end up with. So you have to be bold enough to make a move, because even if it doesn't work out, at least you can stop asking yourself, what if? So you need to not listen to rumors about someone or judge them too soon. You have to get to really know them first. Okay, so this is like lack of judgment. You might be underestimating the potential of the relationship you could have with this person if you guys are just friends. And it's unforeseen right now what that dynamic is going to look like. And I'm seeing it's going to be something absolutely beautiful, because then we move into the Sun. And the Sun is one of the best cards that you can get in the tarot deck. So you guys are going to be extremely, extremely happy together. And you might even be soulmates. Or you have been together in previous lives, but you never had the opportunity to truly be with one another. So you might have been, ran into each other in different lifetimes, but you never actually got to fulfill the romantic side of your relationship. So you're very drawn to each other. And I'm getting kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type of vibe, right? Like things just never ended up working out, regardless of the attraction you had for each other. So your relationship is actually really amazing. And this relationship is going to be coming into your life very, very soon. So embrace being in the present and be mindful of those friends who you keep close to you, because I'm getting that this is going to be a friendship that blossoms into a wonderful relationship. But you guys are going to be friends for quite some time before you become romantic. And if you are already friends with someone who you've been thinking having these feelings for, then it's saying that you should take the next step fairly soon and let them know how you feel. Then we have the Eight of Blades, or Captive. Okay, this is Eight of Swords in the traditional deck. And this is telling me that there might be some type of conflicts that are happening at home or at work. And you need to let go of those fears and anxieties around love that's holding you back. And it might be some of those things of, well, how are my coworkers going to see this person, or how is my family going to see this person? And that's what's actually holding you back from diving into being in a relationship with them. Okay, so love should be empowering and not stressful. And you might be kind of paralyzed right now by the fears of some type of other toxic relationships you've had where there was some kind of manipulation going on from one party. And perhaps you both decide to swear off relationships and end up healing each other unintentionally in the process and finding true love with one another. Then we move on to the volcano card. So this is giving off a very like an Aries energy, but it could be you or your partner. You could just be a fire sign. And your relationship, because it has a strong foundation, it's going to be very passionate and fiery when it does take off, because maybe you guys have both had some hidden feelings for each other for quite some time. I'm also getting that you are both very athletic or fit people, or care about being healthy and having healthy habits and hobbies. So maybe you like doing lots of activities together, like going to the gym or going for bike rides or swimming or skating or anything like that. You guys like doing things that keeps your bodies active, and you guys bond well in those types of activities. Okay, and this is also telling me that on the surface, you might both be saying that, true love doesn't exist and there's no such thing as soulmates. But deep down, you guys are actually really connected, past this life. And you might both secretly be like hopeless romantics and you don't even realize it. All right, now we're going to move on to Callie. Okay, so again, this is related to Sagittarius. So again, I'm getting like a lot of fiery fire signs. Okay, so Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. All right, so Callie she is the Black Mother. Okay, so this is saying that December is an auspicious month for you. So it could be when you met or when you will meet. It could also be like one of your birthdays, right? Like the Sagittarius, for example. And it's also telling me that one or both of you may have a lot of previous sexual conquests, but your true love is not going to jump into bed with you right away. So you want to refrain from continuing to break hearts, because you could potentially be breaking your future partners, and there will be little hope of a future with them if you jump into things too quickly. Then we move on to the full moon, which is this flower, achievement. Okay, so this is telling me that when you do rein back on those impulses, you will be rewarded greatly through getting to know this person and building a relationship with them, having that foundation. And then all of your work is going to pay off. You know, that connection, that emotional connection that you build is going to flourish into this flower, this wonderful, loving, almost what's going to feel like perfect relationship. So I'm seeing that this is going to be a very long lasting and worthwhile relationship. Okay, and like I said, just like this flower, it's going to blossom into this beautiful, beautiful bond and respect that you guys have for one another. Then we have the Rebel, number 25. This is telling me that you may feel like you're in a state of euphoria or bliss when you're together, and you don't actually care about the societal rules or tradition. Okay, so you're going to go against the status quo in this way. Okay, and I'm also getting that it might not even just be gender roles, you might be from two different cultures. This could be someone who's of a different race than you that you're going to just get along with so well. Okay, and you're going to be completely devoted to one another because you have such a strong friendship that you've built. And this could actually go against the previous beliefs that you have of marriage and long-term relationships. And it goes back to this like Romeo and Juliet energy. So maybe your families don't approve of your relationship, for example, but you guys, it's regardless, like, you know, you're meant for each other. Okay, so you have to be courageous and take a stand against, you know, some of the naysayers, some of the people who do not see your relationship as being, you know, the person that you should be with, because you truly know in your heart who you should be with. And this is also telling me that together you guys are going to just triumph over every obstacle that you face. So this is just one, you know, minor hurdle that you have to get through. It might not feel like it at the time, but because your love for each other is so deep and genuine, it's like nothing's really going to matter as long as you have each other. Then we move on to the last quarter, the waning water moon, which is fall, and talks about manipulation. Okay, so from this I'm getting that you may initially meet in the fall, but it's definitely not the time to start becoming romantic. Or, you know, maybe you meet in the fall and then you have a deeper relationship come December. And your true feelings form throughout that time. So you need to explore those feelings, you know, just being with each other as friends before you can move that to a deeper emotional type of relationship. And you might both be healing from some type of other relationship you've had in the past. And so now you're moving into one that's healthier and better for the both of you. And there might be people, like I said, like family and friends that don't approve of your relationship, and they might be trying to, like, you know, throw you curveballs to try to trip you up and, you know, realize that you're not meant to be for each other. But you guys know that you're meant to be together, and it doesn't really matter what anyone has to say about your relationship. You guys know that you're meant to be together, and your love for one another, like I said, is going to conquer all. Okay, so you guys are kind of like star-crossed lovers. Like, you end up becoming friends, but you don't necessarily see each other as being long-term partners. But really, you will blossom into that kind of relationship, and it's going to be an extremely happy blossoming type of relationship, just like I'm seeing here. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull some messages for you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna pull some messages for you guys now on what you need to know about who you're gonna end up with. Okay, so we have keep calm. All right, just be yourself. You don't have to try and impress this person. You can actually just be yourself with them because you guys are going to be friends first. Happiness is within. Okay, so like I was saying, there might be some naysayers around you, but you guys really know that when you have those true feelings for each other, you can really feel it within yourself. And that's what's going to be the key to know that this person is who you're meant to be with. Creation is key. Okay, so maybe you guys are both really creative people, and maybe that's another thing that you guys like doing together. And maybe it's a way that you can express to those around you that you are meant to be together. You know, creativity is something it goes beyond culture and gender and all of those divisions we have. Creativity can be expressed in ways that nothing else can. And so maybe if you guys decide that you want to be together, you can do some kind of creative project together, and it's just going to solidify your relationship even more. Baby steps. This is so appropriate. So like I said, don't rush into anything. If you rush it, it's going to ruin it. So just take things slow, get to know each other as friends, and eventually you'll graduate to that romantic relationship stage. You got this. Okay, so maybe you guys are already friends and you already have someone in mind. So you got this. Go for it. Okay, so that's it for group number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for being here. Please hit the like button and subscribe, as well as the notification if you guys want to check out when I'm releasing a new pick a card every week. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Okay, and now we have group number 3. The quartz crystal. Okay, so let's see who you are going to end up with. Okay, group number 3. So we have the 5 of Shields, or Cultivation, which is the 5 of Pentacles in the traditional tarot deck. And it's in reverse. So this is telling me that you can't rush this relationship. It's actually a really good card for love all around. And it's telling me that you need to not rush into this relationship, the relationship with your future partner of who you're going to end up with, because it's like not waiting long enough for something, for like a fruit or a crop to ripen, and you try to eat it, it's not going to taste good, right? So you want to make sure that you are nourishing this relationship and getting to know each other fully before rushing into anything. And if you aren't already together, you will be making some positive changes to becoming more open to love and romance. Okay, so you're ready to embrace a new relationship or take a risk on love. And you are actually naturally really attractive, and others are really attracted to you. So that's a really good card for love. Next we have the Ten of Harvest, or sorry, Ten of Shields, or Harvest, which is the Ten of Pentacles in the traditional tarot deck. So this is telling me that you're going to be taking on some type of new method when it comes to love. So your traditional approach to marriage or relationships is going to lead to long-term stability and security. Okay, so here we're like cultivating, and here is when we're actually going to be ready to harvest. And this is also telling me that either you yourself or the person that you're going to end up with actually comes from a lot of wealth. So that can be good, but it comes with some strings attached. So you'll almost know right away that they are the one for you because of your values line up very well. And this person may already have everything lined up for them long term. You know, they might be ready for a long term commitment. They might already have a house. They have financial security. Okay, and then we have the Warrior of Shields, or the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is telling me that the person you're going to end up with is not capable of seeing things beyond the horizon right now. So they can be kind of caught up in their own life right now, and they can't focus on much else at the moment. So their love life might be kind of lacking. It can be very boring or quite passionless. So this person might be lazy or weak in that regard towards their relationships, and so they're just not putting much effort into that right now. And I'm seeing that they're actually quite money driven, so they could be neglecting the relationship side of their life. They aren't really putting that as a priority right now. And they may also just be looking at others based on their wealth and social status. So they could have like a big talk, but they're not walking the walk. They could say they want all of these things, but they're not actively trying to pursue them, you know, or they want all these qualities in a potential mate, but they're not doing the right things to pursue that type of person. So this is a blockage that needs to be healed before the romance can occur. Either you are this person or your partner is this person. Okay, so take it as it resonates. Then we have the Shaman card, or number 5. So this person was forced into this type of position. I'm seeing like if they come from a family of wealth, they're just kind of expected to take over the family business, and it's like their life has already been set up for them, and they don't really have much choice in the passions and decisions they get to make in their life, and that's why they're kind of lacking that right now, and they're only seeing wealth and status as things that matter because that's all that they have been taught to value. But they're really not happy with that inside. So, for example, when they were younger, they might have really enjoyed doing some type of art or some kind of sport, and they really wanted to pursue that thing, but their parents were so forceful to not go that way because they only wanted them to focus on how they could make money or how they could take over this family business. And so this person could be extremely talented, and actually I'm seeing that they are very talented, and they're deeply spiritual, just like the shaman, but they lack the self-awareness because they were never taught to acknowledge those parts about themselves. And so they are completely oblivious to the fact that they actually have these hidden talents because they haven't been cherishing them. And deep down, they want someone that they can build a deeper, stronger connection with that's going to make them go back to these passions and these, innate talents that they have that have never been acknowledged by their family. And they really just need to be with someone who doesn't just see them for their money. That's what they're looking for. They want to know that you care about actually just them, and if they didn't have anything, would you still love them? That's what they want you to see their true soul. So that's what I'm getting from the shaman. Now we have the One of Blades, which is the Ace of Swords in the traditional tarot deck. This indicates a need for growth, obviously, right? With this imbalance happening here, they need to build their individuality and their trust in people who see them as truly them, who they are on the inside. So they have, again, like that deep yearn for healing within them, and they need to do that before they can jump into relationship with anyone. So in order to create a truly strong bond with someone who can see their soul, that's a part of them that's going to make them flourish and want to be with you. And this could actually be quite a challenging relationship, but if you stay truthful and you just are yourself, because like I said, you actually are deeply connected on that soul level, and it might actually be a soul contract that you guys are fulfilling with one another. You are meant to be together. You're meant to be with this person. So you'll have a deep connection, not just spiritual, but intellectually, mentally. Your values and everything really line up, which is great. That doesn't always happen. So you'll have really stimulating conversations, and you're likely to get into some very deep philosophical debates that are really meaningful and thought-provoking. So that's awesome. I'm really excited for you. And this may be how you meet, actually. You might meet at some type of like charity event or a seminar, something that drives both of your passions for being like philanthropists. You both really care about the world and just doing good, that goes beyond status or anything. Just doing good for the sake of doing good and wanting to make the world a better place. So that's really beautiful. Now we're going to move on to the bouquet, for number 15. This is a Libra energy. So it could be an air sign, or they could be an air sign. This is telling me that your encounter is going to be quite unexpected, but you will both immediately be drawn to each other. And it's going to start out kind of hot and heavy. But be forewarned, if you jump into a physical relationship right away, you're not going to be able to build that deep connection with them. And he or she might just see you as a fling and nothing else, and will just want nothing else to do with you. So make sure you don't jump into that straight away. And so the relationship's not ready to progress yet to that stage, right? That's why we have the cultivation card in reverse connected with it. You have to let that crop ripen before you can harvest it. And then here's our harvesting time, right? So there may be initial attraction to each other, which is great, but resist that temptation before you jump into bed with this person, because you will also be probably disappointed if you do that, because you're gonna lose the deep connection that you guys are gonna build in this next step here, which is the bridge. So we have the bridge card, or number 6. So this is Gemini. This is another air sign. So again, I'm getting a lot of air, Mercury, Venus type vibes. So, and which also means communication. So you guys are really good at chatting up each other, This is the type of relationship that's very special and rare. That's what this blue moon represents. So you don't want to rush it. You don't want to ruin this rare opportunity. You will realize that you have like a lot of differences on the surface right away, which, yeah, you might be attracted to them, but like maybe you see them as being like kind of a jerk and kind of standoffish. But that's just because their family kind of pushed them into that mentality, and they don't actually feel that way deep inside. So you have to get to know them beyond their social class and get to know their deep, true like worldview. And if you came from different ways of life, then you just need to be able to have discussions about that to get to know each other and bridge the gap between your two worlds so that you can truly connect on that deeper spiritual level. What that's going to do then is stimulate both of your root chakras, which will ignite the sexual passion that you guys have for one another. And it's just going to strengthen the physical, emotional, mental, all of those connections that you guys have. Okay, and I see this as almost like your higher selves are connecting to each other. So that's the type of bond that you want to harvest, you know, this relationship at. You don't want to do it here when it's just the straight up physical attraction. You want to do it when you've created these deeper spiritual, mental, intellectual bonds. Then we move on to the gibbous, waxing water moon. So those are the buds, and passion. Okay, so like I said, you guys are going to be really attracted to one another, so the passion is just going to be inevitable. So once you guys penetrate that surface level, you will really dig deep into the true passions that you have, not just with each other, but within yourselves. And from what I get here, because it's connected to the Warrior of Shields in reverse, they're used to just having kind of meaningless relationships that are aimless and there's no real passion behind them. And they might not even know what true love is, and you're gonna be their true love. You might even be their first real love, because you're not gonna judge them for their lack of status or their wealth or their social networks, but you're going to judge them as you get to know them on that deeper level, which is what's going to make them so attracted to you. And you're going to start to see too how this person's life has shaped them into this being who never had those passions, because you'll be able to see as you get to know them more how their friends and family treat them, and how, more specifically, how their family's been like shaping them into this type of person that they're not even aligned with. But their family is gonna see how passionate and alive they become being with you, and that's gonna make them see that they're really in love and they're going to accept you then. Now we move on to Ishtar. Okay, so this is telling me that you need to be flexible. You know, their family isn't going to accept you with open arms at first, because they might just be thinking, oh, here's another person who's just with, you know, our relative to get to his or her money. Like, they don't actually care about them, and that's not true, right? But you need to be able to stick it out with your partner for them to realize that it never was or is about the social status that they have. It's about who that person is deep inside that draws you to them. And you could be put to kind of like a test, you know, with their family in that way. Like, are you here for love or money? You know, like, what are your real intentions? And this Ishtar energy is telling me that you are going to be able to completely exceed their expectations of you, and that you are this real soulmate for their relative that they're being really defensive about, and that you can just be yourself and they'll see what their relative sees in you, and they will learn to have immense respect and care for you as well. This is also telling me that March is a significant time for this type of energy, so maybe that's when his or her parents or family will slowly start to accept you within their family and accept you as even being together officially. And they'll know the seriousness of the relationship at this time. Now we're going to move on to Demeter. And this is what I see as you, or your energy. You're going to become this like blossoming, amazing person by taking this risk and being in a long-term commitment that's sometimes going to be challenging, and you might question your decisions, but ultimately it's going to be the person that you're meant to be with. And honestly, nobody else would be able to attain this type of life with this person other than you. Like, you guys are meant to be together. You have a higher soul purpose. That's why you're drawn to one another. And you're going to be doing those, greater charity work for the world to become a better place. You are both so driven by that no matter what other people say about the relationship, like, it's just going to be amazing. And you might have to compromise actually, like, on the way that you raise your kids. If you guys decide to have kids, you might have to make some compromises just because you come from such different worlds, and you'll have to, bring both of those worlds together as much as you can. And you're gonna have to be kind of like the mediator to appease your side and his or her side so that everyone gets along. So this might be when you guys actually like make things official, when like beyond just dating, and maybe you get engaged or you get married. And so the important time for this is September. So this is when your partner is going to be completely smitten with you, and you'll just completely hold their heart. They'll be forced into this. They will be forced to change into becoming a better person just from being around your energy, and they want to be better just being with you. That's like true love, like wanting to be better, not just for yourself, but the other person makes you be the better version of you. And so you're also going to rise above, maybe some other challenges you've had in the past, or maybe like looking back, you might think, oh my gosh, if I knew it was going to be this complicated, I never would have, went through with this. But you're going to think like, wow, I've grown so much as a person, and I have achieved so much by showing like my commitment to this person, that we're going to move mountains together, and you're going to be able to handle any kind of pressure that comes your way. And like I was saying before, like nobody else could take your place. Nobody else could dig into this person and connect on that deep soul level like you will. No one else is going to be able to show them what true love really is. So that's really beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to pull some messages for you guys now. Okay, so group number 3, what messages do you need to hear for who you're going to end up with? Okay, cut it out. Cut it out. So cut out having those flings. If that's you, try to avoid having like meaningless relationships. You don't need that in your life. You are a huge success. So you're going to be successful no matter what. Like, you have it, you have the drive within you, and you have the unconditional love that this world needs, that's going to make you successful no matter what. The universe is here for you. So the universe, this is like a soul contract I'm getting. Like, this is something you guys are meant to be with each other. And you're gonna do such amazing things with one another, with like his or her resources and your need for making the world a better place, you're going to be unstoppable. And the universe knows that you guys are doing this with a pure heart, with pure love, and they 100% have your back. You are protected. So that goes with that same message. Like, you're going to be protected by each other's ancestors and your past life attachments and your spirit guides. Your spirit guides are connecting on that deeper level. And even though, like, it might not seem like you have everyone's support, you are protected on a higher spiritual level. So nothing is going to stand in the way of that. Okay, and be cautious. So maybe be cautious around his family and friends at first, because they're gonna be skeptical of you to know what your real intentions are. So just tread lightly, get to know this person on that deeper level. Don't jump into bed with them. Don't jump into anything physical too soon. It's not going to be worth it. But if you're cautious, you get to know them, those feelings and the real, true, deep bonds that you have with one another are going to grow. Okay, so that's your message for group number 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe, and you can hit the notification bell so that you are notified every week when I do these readings, which are going to be every Wednesday. And otherwise, you can drop me a comment in the box below and let me know if this resonated with you or what you think about it. Please drop a comment in the section below and let me know what kind of reading that you would like to have for the next pick a card. I really want to hear your feedback. Okay, so thank you so much and have a good one.